Hi, and thank you so much for joining me for my podcast. Thank you for being a guest. I really appreciate you coming on and taking the time to do this.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah. So to start off, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself and the blog?
Well,
I guess
my name's
website.
Michael Foglietta. Ah, my name's Michael Foglietta. In 2003, I had a blood clot burst in the back of my head, so I was disabled for about the last 20 years. Um, After about uh, 16, 17 years, I decided to go back to college, get my degree, and I started working again. So that's what I've been doing is trying to get back into working out of it was retirement, but I had to go back to work.
Yeah, of course. It's I think it's really great you're taking the initiative to, get your life back, and sort of go back to college, start working again. That's really great. And do you want to tell us a little bit about your website? I know you had a blog on WordPress, which is how we met each other through WordPress, but now
Yeah,
you have a different separate site as well. You're no longer on WordPress, I think.
yeah. I went to another one. It was mostly because um, the price.
Yeah.
um, I I've read your blog. I keep reading it. Even though I haven't blogged in a while, mostly because of work and stuff, and it's been pretty hard on me going back to work. So, but I wanted to get started writing again. So I started a new blog. Only had a couple posts so far. I'm working on my third one right now, but I'm trying to help people that have um, challenging times in their lives to help them get through it. Kind of tell my story and how other people can I can inspire other people to get through whatever challenging times they're going through.
Yeah, I think that's really great. I think the more we share about our experiences, the more people we find that could relate to them and, just find comfort in knowing that they're not alone in experiencing all these things.
Hmm.
So I think it's really great what you're doing. And it's very inspiring as well. But we'll talk about that a little later on in the interview. So my next question is why was it important for you to share your experiences? I know you already talked about wanting to share your experiences to help others, but is there any other reasons you wanted to share your story?
Well, when I first became disabled, and well, pretty much the whole way through, um, I've had a lot of help from different people, friends, family, doctors, all the normal things that people use when they need help. And the more help we have, the more people we know have gone through the same experiences that we've gone through or similar. Um, just to let people know there's resources out there to help them. Just have to find it. And sometimes it's harder to find resources than it is to maintain them.
That is true, yeah. I think not just for your area, but I think even for things like mental health, I've found that to be true, yeah.
Mhm.
So my next question is, um, as someone who suffers from a invisible disability, I think that's what you said on your blog.
Mhm.
How do you think your experiences differ from people who have more visible disabilities?
Um, I can give an example. People are usually have visual clues, but if there's no visual clues, it's harder for somebody to notice. Like me, I don't look disabled, I don't act disabled, but my balance is horrible, pain in my head and all that kind of thing. So nobody can see that. Um, so there's, I don't want to say judgment, but people like when I park in a handicap spot, I get a funny look because I don't look disabled. Like, for example, my friend, one of my best friends is in a wheelchair. So whenever we go to concerts and stuff, Um, we get in first because he's in his wheelchair. Whatever places we go to, people, move out of his way and stuff like that. Um, if I just showed up by myself to a concert or something like that, or an event, I don't look disabled. So if I say that I'm disabled, they're gonna think I'm full of crap.
Yeah.
So I think that's one of the biggest differences.
Yeah, I think that's true. Yeah. So what is something you wish people knew about having an invisible disability? Like, what is something you wish more people knew about?
Um, Probably education, educating people about invisible disabilities
Yeah.
and people that have them. And just because somebody doesn't look disabled doesn't mean they're not. There's so many different disabilities in the world, and not all of them are visible.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a more of an education thing, not to judge somebody on the face of things. Like with jobs, I don't look disabled, so um, I can get a better job than say somebody that looks disabled. I know that sounds bad, but
Yeah.
it's sort of true in these times. I've experienced it myself, so.
Yeah.
But I think, yeah, it's education mostly.
I think that's a good point. Do you think disabilities, both visible and invisible, should be taught at schools? So if kids learn about these things early on, they are better equipped to handle it in the future when they're adults, and in case they ever develop a disability, or if they're around people with disabilities.
Yes, I think children are just as capable of learning as adults. And if they start at a young age, it'll stay with them longer throughout their schooling career.
Mm-hmm.
So I think starting them young, and because kids have a tendency to make fun of other kids that aren't the same way they are. So I think that's where it starts. And if we just teach that people are different, it's more of a positive aspect of somebody's life that can learn.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah. So what are some changes in your life that you experienced due to your disability? How would you say your life differs from people who are able-bodied?
I think the most obvious one is things I can't do anymore. Like I can't do like physical activities. I used to snow ski, powder ski, um, all those physical things that we like to do, play basketball, play sports. I can't do that kind of thing anymore. So it kind of that's the first thing. But then I can't get on the floor and play with my kids because it hurts my head too much, and that's kind of hard for children to realize. Um, and throughout somebody's whole life, you have to kind of adjust to what you can and can't do. And the people that are closest to you, they have to adjust too because they know what I can and can't do. So, like if I try to get on the ladder outside to get on the roof, my wife and my mom don't like that. So, but you find out your limitations as you go along. I never know what I can do or can't do until I try something.
Yeah, of course, right. That's how I'm sure you picked up on things you can do, can't do, maybe do for a short amount of time, but not for long amounts of time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Um,
an adjustment period.
yeah, I can imagine it must have been a big shift for you.
It was hard to get through, but with help, I got through it.
Yeah, it's great that you had friends, family supporting you. The healthcare stuff, that's really nice. I think it's
Mm,
one of those things where you really need as much support as possible.
yeah, yeah. The more support you have, the better.
So I remember on your blog you used to talk about your mental health and how like your disability affected your mental health, especially when you were first diagnosed. So could you please talk a little bit about that? Because I also write a lot about mental health, so I think this would be
Hmm.
interesting to my readers and listeners.
Yeah, It's a huge adjustment, but you go through the stages of grief, basically, um, and you just get through each one as best you can. There's going to be hiccups, there's going to be bumps in the road, you're going to be angry, depressed, all that. But after time and support and people talking to you and trying to help, it kind of better equips you to handle what's about to come because it might take a week, it might take years for somebody to adjust. Um, that's the hardest part is adjusting. But life isn't over. There's always life after a disability, you know.
Yeah,
I kind of look at it like I'm not dead. I'm not just gonna sit on a couch every day and do nothing.
of course.
But
Yeah.
it was a lot of support. I talked to a psychologist and the family and stuff, and I slowly got back out into society. It took a little while, but I got back out there.
That's really great. And I think that's very inspiring for people who might be going through something similar you're going through, or who might have experienced some sort of, might be having disabilities, visible, invisible. I think that's very inspiring for them to hear because in that moment, I can't imagine it would feel like your life has fallen apart, like everything has changed. But knowing that
Hmm.
someone went through that and came out strong and came out, wanting to continue living their life and still being able to do things that they wanted to do. That's very inspiring to hear.
Yeah, you kind of find new interests. Like instead of snow skiing or water playing basketball, stuff like that, I started learning about the world, um, reading, a lot of reading, finding different interests, So everyone has their own interests, and you have to find new interests after.
Yeah. And for someone who might be suffering, from feeling like depression because of their disability or feeling really down or, just struggling with their mental health, um, how do you deal with days when you're feeling down, or how did you feel during days when you were struggling with depression or feeling, really horrible about yourself or something like that?
Mm.
Like, is there any tips you can give?
I honestly, my wife helps out a lot. She always makes me smile. Um, she's always happy, so that kind of makes me happy. I can hang out with my kids, or I just go in the garage and work on a project. I make something, um, use my tools, or do yard work, or small stuff like that. That I kind of redirects my focus away from having a tough day. I still have tough days sometimes, and that kind of helps me get through it.
Yeah, so focus on the more positive things, like people you love, things you enjoy doing.
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the biggest part.
yeah. So where do you see yourself in 10 years? What are some of your long-term goals, not just with writing, but like in life as well?
Um, it's kind of a question mark, but since I'm 52 now, I don't have much time left to work in a career. So whatever career I choose, I'll probably retire from there. Um, I'm gonna to write more. I want to write more, finish my book. Um, and honestly, it's hard to figure out where exactly I'll be. I know where I want to be. I want to be able to retire again, but
Yeah,
it's hard to exactly see because everything is a guess because I don't know like my abilities and inabilities affect my work and my life and stuff. So it's kind of a question mark, but I just kind of do the best I can every day and get through the day the best I can.
yeah. I think that's fair. Like, honestly, life is very unpredictable. It's hard to tell where you will even be 1 year from now. So it's hard to tell
Hmm.
10 years from now. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, hopefully, fingers crossed, you're able to retire again and you're able to have a successful career in whichever field you choose to. I hope that happens.
Yeah, me too. That's
Yeah.
what I'm going for.
Okay, so we're gonna switch to some more fun questions. I think we're done
Okay.
with the more serious questions
Yeah.
to keep things interesting for the listeners. So the first one is, what is your favorite season?
Summer. I like going to the beach. I don't get to the beach as often as I want, but summer's my favorite season. I like the beach more than the mountains and the snow. So where I live, we can go up to the mountains in the snow, but there's not really a beach. So the closest beach actually to where I'm at right now is in Mexico.
Oh wow, okay.
So it's we've been down there a few times. It's fun.
Yeah,
But yeah, my favorite place is the beach.
that's really great. Yeah, that sounds really fun actually.
Yeah, for a long time, I would just when I was still kind of dealing with everything, I would go to the beach at least twice a week when I lived in Southern California.
Hmm.
So I would go to the beach a lot just because it's close and like hearing the waves and just sitting out in the sun.
That sounds really relaxing actually. Yeah.
It was.
Yeah, that's nice. Mm, I was always the opposite. Like in Kenya, we only have two seasons.
Mhm.
Canada, I never liked summer. I always preferred winter and fall. I just really
Mhm.
like the snow so much.
There's a lot of bugs, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah, there's no bugs where I live now, so I'm happy about that.
Oh, that is very lucky. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, the second.
I've seen those bugs. I know what they're like.
Oh yeah, yeah. Ontario, I
Uh,
think has like in general a lot of bugs, like especially
yeah.
as fall comes in, it just gets crazy because everything starts trying to come into your house.
Yeah.
Okay, so the second question. If you could meet anyone in the world, who would it be?
That was a tough one because there's so many people. Um, I couldn't really come up with a definite answer because there's just so many people that have done good things,
True, yeah.
like Richard Branson,
Hmm.
or even like Elon Musk, or even I forget her name from the World Bank. She's the leader of the World Bank. I don't remember, but there was just so many people. Nelson Mandela too,
Hmm.
all the civil rights activists,
Of course.
um, people that care about a topic more than their lives. To me, that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's so many good people out there. There were so many good people throughout history, so it's a hard one to pick.
Mhm.
I understand, yeah.
Yeah, probably a different person for every interest that I have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, so the next one is, what food should taste better than its appearance?
Uh, Probably Asian food. A lot of seafood and stuff, and I'm not a big seafood fan.
Yeah. I think that's like actually a popular like answer because I would say the same. Like seafood is just like I don't know, it's too
Yeah,
weird for me. I don't know why. Like
yeah.
it's a me thing for sure, but
It's got a weird texture to it, and
yeah,
I don't like looking at it.
exactly. It just looks gooey and it's just yeah.
Like oysters and mussels and those especially.
Oysters is like I think that's the one thing that's just a
Yeah,
no for me on that
yeah.
one.
That texture is just it's not for me.
Yeah, that's a fair answer. Okay, and the last fun question, if you had to pick between drinking coffee or tea for the rest of your life, which one would you pick?
I would choose tea.
Yeah.
I can handle tea more than coffee. I don't like coffee.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of strange, my wife tells me, because I don't like coffee. Normal people like coffee, but abnormal people don't like coffee. So I'm apparently not normal.
I don't know. I think me like I feel like it's 50-50. Like I know people who love tea and then I know people who
Mhm.
love coffee. So I think it's a pretty even split, like 50-50.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's an even split. For me, it's coffee just gross.
Yeah, I feel like coffee has a much stronger taste. So like if you have
Mhm.
sensitive taste buds, it's like too much for you.
Yeah, it's kind of rich for me.
Yeah, yeah. I think most people don't like coffee. That's their complaint. The taste is like too strong.
Yeah, and all these fancy coffees that they have now.
Yeah. There's like a million different ways to make coffee. Like I swear people invented new
uh,
ways every day.
yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. I enjoy the taste of coffee more than tea, but like I know because of the caffeine, I just don't drink coffee anymore. I just completely avoid it.
Yeah, I try to, but it's hard.
Yeah. Sometimes you just need it.
Yeah, I like having like a little flavor.
Yeah. Mm. So I think that's it for the questions. If there's anything else you want to share with my readers, maybe how to find your writing, how to maybe contact you if they're interested, like if you want to share anything with them.
My blog is abilitychallengedblog.com. Um, I've only done a couple posts so far, but I'm working on kind of a longer post, like my whole story, not like every single detail, but kind of a general over the last 20 years. I'm working on that one still, and um, I'm trying to get back in more into my writing my book and writing better blog posts. I think they were decent before, but I'm trying to step it up a level so people can find it more and more what do you call it, SEO friendly, that
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Hmm.
Um, and I want to promote it more so more people know about it and people can read about it and what I went through, what I go through, how I got through it, those sorts of things. So if I can help people, that's the bonus plan.
Yeah. That's really great. I will link to your website to like in case anyone is interested in reading and going over it and reading your posts. And I think people should. I think your writing was really great even before then, and I think it's
Thank you.
definitely yeah. I think your story is something that people should read about. I think you have a lot to offer the world. I always enjoy your writing, so I'm glad we got to reconnect and do this interview.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So again,
Yeah, I'm glad to.
yeah. And so again, thank you for being here. And hopefully you can come back sometime and we'll chat
Oh
some.
yeah, yeah. Just let me know or something, and I'll be happy to come back and talk to you some more. Get to know you too.
That'll be yeah, that'll be really fun.
Yeah.